The ocean surface is a grand illusion. It covers over 70% of our planet, yet most of us only ever see its skin. We see the waves, the salt, and the sun reflecting off the blue. But beneath this shimmering boundary lies a world of vertical wonder. Today, we begin a descent into the final frontier, a journey of 10,000 meters. It starts here, in the epipelagic zone, better known as the Sunlight Zone. In these first 200 meters, life is fueled by the sun, but the water is a picky filter. As sunlight enters the sea, it performs a spectral funeral. Red light is the first to die, absorbed within the first few meters, then goes orange, followed by yellow. This is why the ocean is blue. It's the only color that can survive the journey. If you were to cut your finger here, your blood wouldn't look red. It would appear as a ghostly, dark green. Though it represents less than 5% of the ocean's total depth, this thin layer supports over 90% of all marine life. From microscopic phytoplankton to the majestic blue whale, everything here is connected to the light. It is a vibrant, chaotic metropolis, but this warmth is fleeting. As we pass the 200-meter mark, we cross the photocline, the boundary where the sun's power begins to fail. Take a last look at the sparkles above. The pressure is mounting, the temperature is dropping, and the colors are fading into a single, moody indigo. We are leaving the world of the sun. Our next stop, the Twilight Zone. Welcome to the Mesopelagic Zone, better known as the Twilight Zone. We have crossed the 200-meter threshold, and the transformation is immediate. The temperature plunges, and the pressure begins its relentless climb. Here, the sun is no longer a source of life, but a dying ember. 99% of the sunlight has already been absorbed. We are suspended in a world of thick, ink-like indigo, a place of eternal dusk, where the day never truly begins and the night never ends. In this dim blue world, survival is a game of optics. To live here, you must see without being seen. Evolution has responded with terrifying creativity. We find creatures with massive, upward-facing eyes designed to catch the faint silhouettes of prey passing overhead. But the prey has an answer: counter-illumination. Many fish here have light-producing organs on their bellies that mimic the faint glow from the surface, effectively erasing their own shadows. It is a high-stakes war of stealth technology, fought in near-total darkness. But the Twilight Zone is not a static graveyard. Every single night, it plays host to the largest migration on Earth. As the sun sets, billions of organisms, from tiny shrimp to strange translucent fish, rise from these depths to feed at the surface under the cover of darkness. This DL vertical migration is a massive biological pump, moving carbon from the atmosphere into the deep ocean. By dawn, they vanish back into the shadows, retreating from the lethal light of the sun. We are now approaching the 1,000-meter mark. The pressure is now 100 times greater than at the surface. Look up one last time. Somewhere above us, the very last photon of sunlight is being extinguished. Beyond this point, there is no day. There is only the abyss. Our next stop, the Midnight Zone. "1,000 meters. We have officially left the world of the sun. Above us, the ocean is a cold 3-story building of water. Here, in the bathypelagic zone, or the midnight zone, there is no day. There is only a velvet, absolute blackness that has remained unchanged for millions of years. The temperature has plummeted to a near freezing 4 degrees Celsius. In this crushing silence, the only light is the light you bring with you, or the light that wants to eat you. In a world of total darkness, light is a weapon. Out of the shadows emerges a nightmare, the anglerfish. From a dorsal fin grows a glowing rod tipped with a pulsing, bioluminescent lure. To a hungry scavenger, it looks like a meal. To the anglerfish, it is an invitation to a final dinner. With teeth like glass and a stomach that can expand to twice its body size, survival here isn't about grace. It's about being the most efficient killing machine in the dark. But the darkness isn't the only enemy. At 3,000 meters, the pressure is equivalent to having a heavy-duty truck parked on every square inch of your body. To survive, the creatures here have abandoned the rigid structures of the surface. They are made of water and soft tissue, their bodies as fluid as the abyss they inhabit. Look at the gulper eel, a creature that is essentially a giant hinged mouth attached to a whip-like tail, capable of swallowing prey larger than itself in a single terrifying gulp. Food is a miracle here. With no plants to fuel the ecosystem, life depends on the marine snow, a slow, never-ending rain of organic debris falling from the world above. It is a world that lives on the leftovers of the sun. But as we continue to sink, even this sparse forest begins to vanish. We are heading toward the floor of the world. Our next stop, the Abyssal Plain. At 4,000 meters below the surface, the ocean strips away everything you know. The colors are gone. The light is dead. Even the water feels entirely different, a freezing monolithic mass that presses down with the weight of an elephant on every single square inch of your body. We have reached the Abyssal Plain. It covers more than half of our entire planet, yet it is a place where time has completely stopped. There are no seasons here, no shifting currents, just an endless, featureless desert of fine gray silt stretching into the absolute dark. It is the closest thing to deep space we have on Earth, a massive, ancient wasteland wrapped in a heavy, unbreakable silence. Because food is so rare, life here has slowed down to a near halt. Movement is a luxury. Out of the darkness, a tripod fish appears. It doesn't swim, it stands. Perched on 3 needle-thin fins, it remains perfectly still for days, facing into a phantom current, waiting for a single microscopic vibration. In this wasteland, patience isn't just a virtue. It is the only way to stay alive. Sometimes the silence is broken by a gift from the heavens, a whale fall. When a giant of the surface dies, its body falls for hours through the dark, finally thumping into the silt. To the residents of this desert, this is a miracle that will last for 50 years. It starts a slow-motion riot. Hagfish and sleeper sharks arrive like ghosts, guided by scent alone, carving a new ecosystem out of the bones. It is a grim, beautiful reminder. In the abyss, death is the only thing that brings life. But the floor is starting to crack. The plains are ending. We are approaching the edge of the world's deepest scars. Our final stop is the bottom of everything, the Hadal Trenches. We have crossed into the Hadal Zone, named after Hades, the Greek underworld. We are falling through narrow, jagged tectonic scars. The pressure here is almost incomprehensible. Imagine the weight of 50 commercial airplanes stacked entirely on your shoulders. It is enough to crush bone to dust, to buckle solid titanium. Everything we know about biology says life should not exist here, yet life refuses to surrender. Down here, the apex predator isn't a leviathan with jagged teeth. It is a ghost. Meet the Mariana snailfish. It looks as fragile as wet tissue paper. It has no scales, and its bones are flexible cartilage. It survives not by fighting the immense pressure, but by yielding to it. Its cells are packed with a specialized chemical that prevents its proteins from collapsing. In the most hostile environment on Earth, this delicate, translucent creature is the undisputed king. At 10,935 meters, the descent finally stops. We have hit the seafloor of the Challenger Deep, the absolute lowest point on our planet. More people have walked on the surface of the moon than have explored this specific patch of dirt. It is freezing, toxic, and wrapped in an oppressive, heavy silence. Looking out into the black water, you realize something profound. This isn't the bottom of our world. It is an entirely different one. The deep sea is not just a place of eternal darkness and crushing pressure. It is a mirror. It shows us that life, even in its most fragile and delicate forms, is far more resilient than we could ever imagine. As we begin our long ascent back to the world of light, leaving the silent giants and the ghost-like predators behind in the abyss, one profound truth remains clear. The greatest mysteries of our planet aren't hidden out there in the stars. They are right here, beneath the surface, waiting in the great silence.